What's going on, little dragons over today? If you're feeling good, please do let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like on this video, share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to punch that subscribe button as it will help your little dragon out so very much. Today, Marxism, communism, socialism, social revolution, these sort of things. We've spoke about it, we've seen about it on this channel. Outside of, I have read about it a lot, but who is Karl Marx? Where did all of this start? What is he about? I did ask from one of my last videos, and you guys gave me a suggestion. Thank you so much. I've really wanted to watch this. I would have checked it out anyway, you know, if it weren't on YouTube. I would have just watched the video by myself and watched it. But a lot of things, I like to do it here so that we can all watch it together, and you know, so I can give my ideas and reviews on what we're seeing. As long as it's not too complicated, hopefully we understand it. There was some things from before, some of the words we didn't really quite get. I'll be honest with you, I had to go away and go back on Google and go and type those words in to see what they actually meant. So hopefully we understand a lot of this. I'm not like a history kind of person. I'm learning now, right now. That's why I'm learning slowly. That's very interesting, you know. As I always say, knowledge is wealth. So the more we know, the more we understand, the more we can go forward and prevent these sort of things from all the wars and all these things, or the hatred, or the racism. What kind of things were there? Discrimination, slavery. You know, taking over someone else's possessions. These sort of things we can avoid and live a happy life all together. All, you know, coming with our differences and accepting our differences, and we can all be together. So I think the only way we can do that is by understanding what things have happened in history and the outcomes of that. So yes, and I know that one of the most important, I don't think history would exist. You know, history, a huge chunk of it would have no meaning without certain individuals. And definitely Karl Marx, I know for a fact that he is one of those people that is very important in history, man. So good. Thank everyone, thank the Lord, thank technology that we can all sit together and watch this and learn together. So yes, without further ado, we are going to hop right into this, my little dragon. Let's go. Boom. Okay.
Ideas have consequences, sometimes good, sometimes bad, and sometimes catastrophic, like the ideas of Karl Marx. Born in Trier, Germany in 1818, Marx didn't invent communism, but it was on his ideas that Lenin and Stalin...
Wait, Marx didn't invent communism? Catastrophe? Is this guy hating on Marx? Oh. I thought it was going to be a positive video.
Built the Soviet Union, Mao built communist China, and innumerable other tyrants, from the Kims in North Korea to the Castros in Cuba, built their communist regimes. Ultimately, those regimes and movements calling themselves Marxist murdered about 100 million people and enslaved more than 1 billion.
100 million people? What are you talking about?
Specifically those who did manual labor, were exploited by capitalists, the people who owned, as Marx put it, the means of production, specifically factories, but who did very little physical labor themselves. Only a workers' revolution, Marx wrote in Das Kapital, could correct this injustice. What would that revolution look like? Marx and his collaborator Friedrich Engels spelled it out point by point in the Communist Manifesto. It included the abolition of property and inheritance, and the centralization of credit, communication, and transport in the hands of the state, and a lot more along the same lines. In other words, the state owns and controls pretty much everything. This notion was widely discussed and debated in European intellectual circles during Marx's lifetime, but nothing much came of it until Vladimir Lenin took power in Russia in 1917. This changed everything. Despite its repeated economic failures, Lenin's Russia, which became known as the Soviet Union, became the model for dictators around the world. Wherever Marx's ideas
life
got worse, not by a little, but by a lot. There is not a
Why?
single exception to this rule. Not the Soviet Union, not Eastern Europe, not China, not North Korea, not Vietnam, not Cuba, not Venezuela, not Bolivia, not Zimbabwe. Wherever Marxism goes, economic collapse, terror, and famine follow. So, if cataclysmic failure, meaning terrible human suffering, is the inevitable legacy of Marxism, why do so many people, and now especially young people, defend it? The most common answer Marxism's advocates offer is that they, whoever they are, Lenin, Stalin, Chavez, never really practiced Marxism. They all somehow got it wrong.
Oh.
Marxism, we are told, is, at its essence, about sharing what we have, from each according to his ability to each according to his needs, as Marx put it. Maybe that sounds good to you, but what does it mean? Who determines ability? Who determines need? The answer is the state, the ruling elite. Under Marxism, that's who has all the power. That's why the truth is this. Marxist dictators like Lenin, Mao, and Pol Pot really did get Marxism right. They wanted absolute power, and Marxism gave them the way to get it. Karl Marx never had to face the consequences of his theories. He lived most of his adult life breathing the free air of London, England, living off the generosity of his collaborator and patron, Engels, who, as it happens, inherited his money from his wealthy merchant father. Marx spent his days in the reading room of the British Museum, researching and writing. Although he was obsessed with the term scientific, he was never able to marshal data to prove his theories. There's a good reason for this. There was no data to prove his theories. For all his time in the library, Marx couldn't find any evidence to suggest that capitalism, the free exchange of goods and services through privately owned business, was a passing phase. Throughout the industrial age, working conditions constantly improved and wealth expanded. Marx had to rely on outdated reports to make his case, and even then he had to manipulate the data to get it to conform to his predetermined theories. But Marx really had no interest in proving his theories. He knew that they could be put into practice only by brute force. He said so himself. Of course, in the beginning, communism cannot be effected except by means of despotic inroads, he wrote. His ends could be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions. All existing social conditions. That's religion, family, personal possessions, freedom, and democracy. They all had to go in order to achieve Marx's vision of an earthly paradise. But since few people give up their liberties and property voluntarily, creating a Marxist state has always required guns, prisons, and summary executions. Marx's many disciples from Lenin on never considered this a problem. Some, like revolutionary poster boy Che Guevara, considered it a bonus. I don't need proof to execute a man, Che is said to have boasted. I only need proof that it's necessary to execute him. If you're still a fan of Marxism after all the death, suffering, and destruction it's caused, that's your right. But own up to it. Don't hide behind the "it's never really been tried" line. It has. I'm Paul Kengor, professor of political science at Grove City College for Prager University.
Wow, I would like to see what people say to defend themselves. I would like to see what arguments against this. Maybe, okay, I didn't know there was a room for debate. I thought it was like an accepted thing. But, you know, when he talks about religion and, you know, family and where you come from and all that stuff, that you believing in what you want to believe in, this is what I heard. That's not the problem. The problem isn't where you come from. The problem isn't what your skin color is, what you believe in. These are not the problems. They're fine. Everything is fine. The problem is you saying yours is better than somebody else's. You discriminating somebody else. That's where the problem comes in, and that's where, you know, all these fights and all these things that come in that I believe. I heard somewhere and it made sense to me. Maybe I might be wrong as well. But wow, I'll be honest, I didn't really quite understand. Oh my god. Okay, so this wasn't really like a biography as to who Marx is and what he said and where he came from and who it is. It was just like an idea of Marxism and arguments against what the impacts of Marxism was in history and the countries, I believe. So that's what it made me think it was. Okay, I see. But I still want to know where it comes from. I like to decide for myself. I don't like to just let somebody else tell me, yo, this is what it is, man. This was ABC, and just listen to it like this. Or everybody who believed in this for this many times they're stupid. I don't want to listen to that. I want to see it. I want to see. I want you to tell me like his story and where it comes from and all of that stuff, and why he started this, why Marxism existed, or how he came up with that. If we come up with if I understand that and I can like decide for myself, I believe it's better and it's more interesting, man. So yes, I can't really say anything. If you have any videos that contradict this, please do let me know. I do want to know. What do you guys think about Marxism? Do you reckon it's very important? Do you reckon everybody's right who support it? Or do you reckon what they say in this video is right and that it's, you know, it's a complete opposite, you know? It's the complete opposite of what it actually stands for. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know what to say, man. God, I've never seen a video that actually, you know, confused me. Anyways, man, thanks so much for watching my little dragons. Love you all. You're all amazing. Stay home, stay safe, stay blessed. Stay also my little dragons, and I will definitely see you all in the next video.